Okay, let's go to 183 for a minute. .183, of course, we've not known if that thing would ever be built. The mayor kept trying to delay it. She wouldn't wait 20 years, but no, she had raised Cain about it so much, I think she finally got some people's attention, and it's, lo and behold, it's going to be built actually a whole lot quicker than what we thought it was for the last couple of years. And so we wanted to spend a few minutes to not only tell you what the impact is, but also with what we've just been talking about, keep that in mind as we try to leverage what occurs down there into quality development along there and where the opportunities are. So, you're at 157?
Yes, sir.
Yep. You can see the dedicated right turn lane here that we had recently been told would probably not occur. Well, it's back in there. So, this gas station right there that has no gas, we have told them that we're going to give them 3 months to operate, to sell out their inventory, and then they're shut down. Their CO, they have a temporary CO, their CO will be revoked. Now, the reason for that is they don't have gasoline. They're a gas station. They don't have gasoline. You can only do auto repair by right associated with the sale of gasoline. They are primarily an auto repair place. So without gas, they can't do auto repair. And he's known this. He's been out of compliance for quite some time, but we've told him that's it. He's got his letter now from TxDOT. They've not reached agreement, but he knows they're buying his right-of-way. The red line on all of this is the right-of-way line. It cuts right through his tanks. So he will go away. Don't know what will be there, but he will be going away, and that right turn lane will be built. The Taco Cabana here was built with that right-of-way take in mind. I don't look, it impacts their parking some, but they're apparently, we still believe they're parked adequately. And then you can see that not a lot of impact to Denny's or the Starbucks. When you get to the hotel here, there is that gets in. That's the La Quinta, the old La Quinta. It's a quality now, and it gets into the portico shed out front there. Don't know what the outcome of that will be, but there is an impact there. The Microtel, minimal impact, some parking impact. The animal hospital, it was built knowing generally where that right-of-way line was. Acme Brick, not a great deal of impact. Other than, you'll see that gets into that drive. They may lose some brick display back here, but they're not too concerned. Then it starts getting a little further to the south, and there's some impact to some homes along here. I don't think it's anything that that anybody probably didn't know about and anticipate. One thing to call out to you here, there, and I think we reported this to you again, there is no Ector Drive exit. The exit was the 157, which is actually pretty far back. Yeah. 157. Let's see. Gets pretty close to the building here at Domino's. The other thing, you'll see this at Main Street as well. There's a take along the sides of Ector for the transition and to line up those bridges because there's turnarounds here. So pretty good impact here on this Texaco station. Doesn't take it, but it gets into that awning.
You said there's no exit, there's a bridge right there?
There's a bridge, yeah, the bridge stayed. I mean, it be rebuilt. It will be rebuilt. But there is not an exit. You can't exit directly to Ector.
Okay.
I would have bet that you could in the original plan, but we've gone back and looked, and it's a
Kind of like that one up there first year.
It never
They don't
was
have an
there.
exit either, okay.
Okay, now, when we get down here a little further, I want you to start paying some close attention here. These are the two hotels, the Plaza and the La Quinta. I think you'll be able to sit on the curb of the service road and dangle your feet in the pool. It is really, really close there. Not much impact here to Kerry McCombs. You may have to reconfigure his drive a little bit. Not much here. That is David Massey's building. But pay attention to here. This starts getting into a pretty good amount of the properties here. This right here is the Bob Parra Automotive, used to be National Transmission. That's a full take. Taco Bueno is a full take. Taco Bueno did not realize that, and they've just recently been contacted by TxDOT. So they're out, TxDOT is out right now contacting people, which is, I said a while ago about Greg Last, that we had talked with him. His first priority will be to work closely with these folks, because this is a really good performing Taco Bueno, and we need to be finding him some other space. Whatever as well. What I wanted to refresh y'all's memory on, and some of you have never heard this because it goes back so many years, but the other thing we've asked Greg to look at, that's Huffman Drive. And we had pitched the idea a number of years ago when we thought this was coming at that time, that we felt like there should be some openness to an abandonment of Huffman Drive. And as you see this, we think it is even more important. We need to do traffic studies and make sure that we know what we're doing. But you can see they currently are planning a drive off a little road off of the service road to tie you into Huffman right here, and then they would leave Huffman. There's also a connection here at Byers, and our thought from a number of years ago was that we probably didn't need this. We question whether this road is necessary and whether we need that drive there at Byers. That's a public street, but whether we need that or need to look at a totally different configuration. So we've asked Greg to begin to look at this and see if there is any benefit to make this property here more accessible, if it lends itself better to commercial development, if they had some portion of Huffman.
Jerry, that property is Mike Miller's, right?
Mike Miller owns it, yeah. And bear in mind, throughout all this, the effort is not to benefit the property owner. It's to capitalize on the freeway fronting properties and not just make it, this down here becomes basically unusable if Huffman remains. I don't know how many of y'all use Huffman. I would bet Mr. Hogg does, because he fits the category of one that would. I use it. It is primarily local people that have used that for cut through for years.
I've never used it.
I still use it.
Yeah, I do too. But there's nothing, you don't really access anything off of it. This right here, these are many warehouses. That is only their emergency exit. So just to tell you, unless somebody told us not to even look at it, we'll be working on bringing you a plan of how that could work. Not to say this is what we're going to do, but how it could work and how we could accommodate those businesses
So if
to
you
help
were
them
able to
relocate.
utilize that triangle, you might be able to work where Taco Bueno could rebuild
Yeah,
Yeah.
in that
no,
area.
that's the thought, and if we abandon buyers, to where you get mutual access drive, you know, to where you can access a number of businesses there, because you're gonna have the same thing as you get down here. This is the Kentucky Fried Chicken, they're fine, but as you can see, Whataburger is hurt
Yeah.
badly, and they don't really have a place to go.
It's amazing to me that Gary, be sure and have him look at buyers, because every time I come down Huffman from City Hall or that area, there are cars turning off of Highway 10 and going up buyers.
And I do use that a
I
lot.
do, and if I'm going to Main Street, I use that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
but so,
Rather
I
than
mean, we'll look at it, but I
fighting-
mean, it's a,
Well,
there's a distinction between habits and,
yeah,
and need.
but they're
That's-
not going to
Yeah.
the freeway, they're going to these,
Restaurant.
Waffle House, those restaurants.
I'm just trying to avoid that traffic light right there.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or wherever,
But-
or
I
McDonald's.
mean, our general thought is perhaps we could cul-de-sac buyers where you access the restaurants. Remember that as you get down here, like McDonald's, they bought this property back here. They're nearly gonna be a freeway and a Highway 10 fronting
Yeah.
property, so,
But yeah, I think if it's closed, I'd learn a different route. If it's closed back, Hubbard's closed back further, that would give a lot of usable land there for those people to relocate.
yeah, and I think that's what we gotta do, is make sure we don't leave properties that are just unusable and we lose restaurants, because that's,
Oh, yeah. We'll do that all.
The only hard thing I envision, Gary, is how to get from Highway 10 to McDonald's and those restaurants, because if you're coming on Highway 10, you turn left on Byers and then right on the frontage road.
and it's, I mean, you can get there this way, but it's tough.
It's really hard, because that little stretch is
So,
impossible.
I mean, that's what we gotta look at, is just the overall access. But if there was some mutual access from here all the way over there,
That'd be ideal.
that's what we have to look at. That's why we're gonna be proactive working with those folks. We call your attention, and I know several of you are impacted by this, but, well, in fact, you can see that right there, that gets into the awning of that 7-Eleven gas station there at the southwest corner. The Methodist Church is significantly impacted. You will be able to sit on their porch and put your feet on the curb nearly, not quite that bad.
Yeah, we're gonna have to flip the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Their building right there, that line goes right through it,
There goes Lisa.
gets into their parking. It is a significant impact. And then you'll see that this right-of-way line starts to cut back to the south right here. And while we're right there, I want to tell you, most people don't even know it's there, but there is one of the last of the Mohicans right there, and that's a billboard. And the church is going to be rehabbing that thing. You can't have new billboards, but they'll be rehabbing that thing, and it may be electronic. If you don't know it's there, did you even know it was there?
No.
Well, I knew it was there because there was a big, I don't know, suit, but the county went back and said, you know what, you're getting, I think you get $100 a year for that thing or whatever it is. Because you're getting income, now you're a completely taxable property. And it was gonna be a huge thing, and it was finally settled. I think you should let them take the damn thing down. Because I think that's just another.
They're more than welcome to take it out, but I think what they're gonna do is rehab it. And it will be a freeway fronting and a Highway 10 fronting billboard, but it is so far out on that tip that, well, there you had one that goes to church there and travels that way, and did you know it was there? Not many people know it's even there, so.
Is that the smokehouse, the little white dog?
The smokehouse is, yeah, that's what it's called. So,
Back in the tree.
yeah, so unless somebody just had some strong objection, they can rehab the thing, because they are badly hurt by this. So, scoot up there on the north side, I guess, go back one. By the way, speaking of this, for those of you that weren't at the EDF meeting the other night, Bedford announced that the Park Place dealership will become a Mack Churchill super used car lot. So that'd be a pretty good addition for a pretty good pickup. That'd be nice. All right, there's First Baptist Church, and in the gas station, you can see that gas station's impacted. Their awning is impacted. I think they ultimately will go away. That will probably be a fast food restaurant at some point in time. Our church down there, it affects some parking. There'll be a sign relocation. It's back to the Methodist Church. We are going to be very, very accommodating to the Methodist Church and to the Baptist Church and the Airport Freeway Church of Christ because of their impact. And it's no different than we're doing with other businesses. Their signs will allow them to relocate, and we try to keep all those folks happy in that regard. Interesting opportunity right here. And Chris and I visited with the owners of the Manchester Apartments. They lose some buildings, and it's okay with them. That's a large apartment complex. What we have visited with them on, and will continue to visit with them on, is to encourage them to consider what commercial liability that property may have. To where, you can see that just cuts through the middle of some of those buildings. So they've known that those buildings would go away all along. Well, what if they actually came back here and, came back to that that drive and said, we're going to take out everything to the south of that and create commercial opportunities. We're visiting with them on that, and that is a good example of what I'm talking about the opportunities that this can create where it benefits all parties. They have more apartments than they can manage. They've got like 500 units.
They've actually, aren't they one of the kind of success stories of our apartment
They are.
program? Because they've actually raised their standards.
They have, and they're doing much better.
But they could do it easier, they only had 400.
Yes.
If
Or 300.
Yeah.
So they're kind of anxious to work with us there, and so then you can see there's really no different impact to us here at City Hall than there's ever been. We've known this all along. A little bit of take here along Hector Drive does not get into any of our facilities here at all.
This means the election signs have to go farther in.
Well, interesting thing about highway construction, they can take most anything, they can't impact the school. So you can see that there is right-of-way take on the north side everywhere except Euless Junior High. And that the right-of-way has been slid to the south there, which is part of the reason the Methodist Church is impacted, is because they're actually dodging Euless Junior High in maintaining the proper geometry of the curve of that road.
Very nice
So,
little kids.
yep. So then, we keep going up here. Let's go.
Now, is that the bridge that goes over this back there to the left? Is that going to be, I know at one time when they were talking about the managed lanes being really high, that was going to be affected. Is that not going to be affected now? The walking bridge?
walk-
They have decided that there's going to be.
Yeah, there's not a lot of kids that walk that right now. I don't, my guess is not gonna be there, but we don't know for
They took a ton of flack there in Hurst for the cost of replacing that via the number of folks that use it.
sure. That is a humongous expense.
Well, the other thing is, you got ADA issues. We're looking at that right now in Plano. If you do that, you've got to find now a way for a person in a wheelchair to do it.
Yeah.
And that's an expensive element.
Yeah.
Okay, for the Tom Bodett cadets there, there's not a great impact. It gets some of their parallel parking there along their curb line. Starbucks, we're not real sure yet. That'll be part of Greg's last charge, is to work closely with Starbucks. We have thought all along they would probably ultimately go away, but I'm not sure that there may be a way they can stay now.
They're busy all the time.
But the real focus of the attention here, and this is going to be one of our really critical focuses, is this area.
I don't, Gary, just back on Starbucks, the gentleman that does their placements of those said it was not gonna affect their store there. Now, what, I don't know, you know, that's just what he said, but I don't know what'll happen.
Well, and obviously that depends on what audience they're talking to.
Because he had talked
Because-
to
Yeah.
the Texas, you know, to Texas, he lives
To
in.
TxDOT, they're probably going to be telling you, kill us, we can't stay.
Yeah.
To somebody else, so that's, we'll have to see. It's pretty tight there on that southeast corner. Okay, the area that I think we're going to be talking with you a lot about soon is this area right here. This is Main and Airport Freeway. I didn't mean to hit you in the head with that parking. No, I'm not suggesting you move, I don't want to blind you. But, that's Wendy's. We've known all along that Wendy's will go away. Wendy's has known that will go away. And you can see what that right-of-way line does. It makes that jog right there. One of Greg's charges is going to be to look at this whole area along here and see what we can do on it. Because we can either let TxDOT design it and we take what's left. When I say we, I mean the community take what's left. Or we can get proactive and try to impact that. You can see,
What's the reason for their jog to the north there?
Chris had that conversation with him the other day. What,
Their official answer is that the ultimate build-out, this project's actually being done in an interim construction. So what you see on the colors here, that represents the different lanes, is an interim construction. And then there is an ultimate build-out. And the ultimate build-out will require that right-of-way that far. So they are taking
So in the
all the
future,
right-of-way now.
in the future, they're gonna add additional funds?
That's correct.
Mhm.
some of it, no doubt, is for noise,
Right.
the noise barrier as well. But as it sits right now, this is their right-of-way line. There's a house right there that just,
In the way.
and that is also some of the reason, because they have to provide that house access to their house. But these houses along here are total takes. And we'll be working with the homeowners, because I can't guarantee you that all the homeowners know this right now. But we'll be talking with them. But this is, jackpot, couldn't I? Think of it. But we need to be visiting with all these folks, where Wendy's can go, what we can do in here to create opportunity. And then how we want this road to be configured.
That could eliminate some of the congestion if we use
We
that
need to
second.
move one of them to the other.
The main street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think that will,
Yeah,
that will.
or you couldn't park it there, but,
It's, well, remember, we've talked about joint parking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be some of the key, but, so this right here will necessitate some planning along Main Street for what opportunities we can have. And then along here, we have to pay considerable attention to what is left, go a little bit further to the east.
Before you leave that slide though, Gary, I want to ask a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Are you telling me TxDOT has not talked to those individuals who own those homes?
No, I'm not telling you that, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you that they have or they haven't, I
Okay.
don't know.
So we're gonna try to help them, make sure they're aware of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's,
I was shocked.
we have not, for one thing, this has just been brought about recently.
Right, right,
But we don't get involved in the,
exactly,
we're not gonna go tell them, TxDOT's gonna buy your house, but we don't know what.
exactly.
I mean, particularly when you get down in here.
Right.
And that right there, that house right there, it's not attached, but they're not going backyard enough, so.
There was a few of those folks at the public meeting. I don't think all of them at all were there, but I know there was a few.
And they went home and talked.
True.
But we want to make sure that that they know from us what
What we know.
we know, and
Right.
we'll stay in close communication. Then as you go a little further east, they get a little more complicated, because this is taking their backyards, you know, reducing them out, and then go further east. And I cannot remember for the life of me right now what the street name is right here, but, you know, there's 5, 6 houses there that are unaffected at all. Carter, that's what it is. How did you know that?
Because I'm smart.
She was looking at that instead of the sign at the church.
Yeah, five houses, so, you know, we need to be paying some attention to that. That's kind of a similar situation, as we pointed out before, with what we've got in Hurst, there east of precinct.
Yeah, there's a thing on Google Earth, you can click on street names, and it'll show you the street names.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So we wouldn't,
We have Linda.
we wouldn't have to get that in the
He can
windows.
measure and everything, but it just takes time, and then he tilts stuff. Makes it sick. I guess you keep going east, we'll show what happens out there. This is no, I guess, we'll go south. One thing we have learned is there was a considerable improvement to the access to this area right here. That will not be done in the first phase. That's the Bear Creek Parkway and American Boulevard. So that we'll have to wait for that. And then you can see where the that is along here. And that will not, that's a two-way service road out there. It will no longer, that's right, that no longer is two-way service.
That's right.
So there'll be a considerable challenge. One thing that Chris heard the other day, that could be, could possibly be interesting, it would be an inconvenience, but it could be good for this property. And that is, in that first phase, the Main Street exit. There may be no Main Street exit. It would actually be back here.
Yeah, that second row.
So if that is the case, that puts much more traffic in here and enhances the possibilities out there. So that's 183, and there's lots of opportunity there. And of course, we talked at length from an amortization standpoint of what's possible there south of.
Gary, on Main Street, aren't they going to have a turn, an extra lane on the north part, I mean, the east and west sides?
There's a Texas U there now.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be that wide, and then they won't have that exit from Main Street. If they don't have an exit at ECTA, where are they gonna have the exit from Main Street to get up? Coming from the west to
Potentially
the
east
east.
of 360,
Pardon me?
east of 360.
So there's no way to get to Main Street?
We don't know that for sure right now, but that's what it's looking like.
That really affects what we do on our efforts on Main Street.
Oh, wow. So you have to either get off at back there where West Parkway is.
No, there is an eastbound exit from Main Street.
Oh, okay.
There absolutely is one of those.
Okay,
West,
okay.
I was talking about westbound. I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
It's generally in
Little,
where it is now.
Yes.
okay.
One thing I wanted to point out to y'all that sometimes with Gloucester, you hear different things, and it goes back into that ultimate right-of-way that Mr. Porterville was asking about, how that's such a big take. Obviously, there are 0 existing managed lanes today.
ultimate build-out provides 3 managed lanes in each direction. This interim piece that we're talking about is going to be 1 managed lane in each direction. Currently, there are 3 general purpose lanes existing. The ultimate build-out provides 4 general purpose lanes. So you start to see why that has to widen out. Currently, there are between 2 and 3 lanes in the frontage roads, and the ultimate build-out at least keeps the 2, but in some cases increases that to 4. So that's kind of why you get some funky configurations in there. And again, that will not be what's built this go around, but that's what will be allowed for in the right of way.
It took 25 years to get this far. So if it took 25 years, we had to widen those, so none of us had anything to worry
I'm
about.
gonna say, most of us in this room will not have to worry about even seeing it, much less being a part of it. But, yeah, that's a long way down. And of course, one thing we didn't point out, but the reasons for this significant take here in front of the Methodist Church is that wide bridge, a much wider bridge
Yeah.
with U-turn capabilities.
Squared up.
Yeah, and it does square up that offset,
So-
which is a good thing.
When you turn to the right in front of the Methodist Church, can you get back on the freeway somewhere?
Just right here on this ramp.
That's really all you can do. Is
Okay.
get back on the freeway.
You can get back on the free lanes, general purpose lanes. The managed lanes, you're gonna have to go, I think it's almost to belt line
Right.
before you braid over into the managed lanes.
So we'll be working with business owners and the homeowners, and just wanted to plant that seed with you about Huffman. And then, and I have nothing really to offer right now about this area up here, but we need to be thinking about that. You don't want badly damaged homes, and you don't want vacant property out there, so just, we're gonna need to put a thinking caps on in that regard.
Were you talking about closing one of those streets? or
Huffman.
something like that?
Huffman.
Oh, Huffman.
Well, actually, no, actually, Glenn, you're right, it is
Yeah.
East Fuller, I mean, that's not that absolutely will happen, because that,
Everyone exists.
it goes away.
So they'll have to access their place from farther down. I can't think what that road is, but by the other one.
Yeah.
Well, you're just really showing off. Because I don't know the name of them, so you could be throwing any name out you want.
And I say it absolutely, that's probably an exaggeration, say it absolutely has to go. But it would be unsafe, it's already unsafe. But it would be much, much more unsafe with that configuration.
TxDOT's current schematic shows it cul-de-sac here. That's a little odd when you get to studying it, but it doesn't go through.
Have you seen the little cul-de-sacs that they put up at, at Hurstview, that bridge over Hurstview Drive? On each side they have those tall walls, they must be 15 feet high, concrete walls. And on the inside where the homes are, they built little cul-de-sacs that turn around, so they go up and turn around, they don't access the road at all. Very peculiar.
Some of our consideration will be, this is Short Street right here, so named because it is a short street.
You remember the name of that one?
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
Was that your suggestion?
Pardon me?
Was that your name?
No, that is the name of it.
I guess.
No. I just always thought that was, you're thinking streets being named after somebody or some event in history. Well, it's Shorts.
Are there any houses fronting it?
No. There's no houses. But, what you do with that, all that is a decision point for us. And,
Why would they even cul-de-sac that right there? If Wendy's is gonna be gone,
well, you got a
Driveway.
driveway. Yeah.
Right there.
And that is a good example of where you need to look at and just see what's left.
Yeah.
That guy's not gonna be living a whole lot.
no.
That just needs some good planning service. So, anyway, hope that will just plant some seeds for y'all, that whole area, and
What is we don't have the same topography that they have in Hearst with the elevation changes there, do we?
well, there is some, that is higher.
It is.
Yeah, it's not a lot, not as drastic as in hers, but there is some elevation difference there. When you come up off the freeway on the exit. Let's see, before they bring the lunch, I guess it's not here, would you fly up there to 360? What'd you do?
Yeah, over here, 360.
Yeah, go to 360 and Harvard. We're visiting with a developer named Joe Lemon right now that has an interest in building single-family homes right in here. Is that basically the line right there?
Basically.
Just to tell you that that's going on. He would reserve the rest of this for commercial. You'll probably see that. I don't know if y'all, I don't know what your thoughts may be. The only reason I'm bringing it up today is to see if you have any immediate thoughts. It would be a typical R1L subdivision, 350, 400,000 homes. What do you think their markets are? I had thought that we had more commercial liability. They don't, they say they just drag, do nothing there. Just to let you know that's going on.
Will the extension of Harwood change that?
We've talked with them about that. They're well aware of it.
They don't see.
I mean, what they're saying is there is so much commercial land down here that they just
I think it helps.
don't.
The adjacent piece, it does help that, it's not like that.
But I don't know. We met, a couple of weeks ago with a group on that does the Aerotropolis planning. And I think we'll probably continue to work with them some. And I think they can lend some good advice for us on that whole corridor there. That, their position is, you need to look at the airport as a city. In the past, we've been told that the airport is like a hole, a lake, that there's just nothing there. Is a retail draw, and what they will tell you is you need to kind of get away from the retail thought and think of it from a commercial standpoint, that from jobs, from not manufacturing, but office, that accommodates, facilitates airport-related businesses. It's a pretty interesting concept. Continue to visit with them. Got a nursing home that someone is interested in building along 157. I want to throw that out to you, what y'all think about nursing homes. Obviously, I say they call it skilled nursing facilities, assisted living and nursing facilities. There is some demand on our fire department from the ambulance runs they make there. Pretty good, quiet, commercial use, pretty good values involved, but strike anybody's chord that you don't like it, or
It's a necessary
Yeah.
service.
We still need to sign them.
well, and that's, we'll continue to work on that.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
on the intersection of 157 and 183, northbound, where there's a turn lane that goes westbound,
Here?
is there any possibility we could get two turn lanes there in this city? Because that turn lane backs up an awful
Mhm. It does.
I need to go back and look at the schematic. The other part is that's gonna be one of the ingress egress points to the managed lanes as well, so it's be pretty. I guess I could argue be more critical than it is today, because you'll have 3-lane interchange. I have to go back and look.
I think that occurs.
Okay.
The problem right now is the on-ramp is so close that,
You couldn't have two.
yeah,
People.
You couldn't get
they've
the
always been
right-hand
concerned
one
with
and get all the way across.
But I think in this, and it may not show it on this under that bridge, I'm not sure. But, we can have it absolutely verify whether it is or it isn't, and but I'm not sure it is.
That shows only one turn.
It does. Where's that on ramp? That's all.
Where was that, that's the shopping center, that's the office building.
That's a little bit further west. That's where you went out there.
Before you get to Sovereign Lines.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, both of those on that, because there's plenty of lanes there.
Well, I think the place that will smooth out once they get that, all those barricades out of there and all that sort of thing.
See what's going
For
on.
most of
We
the,
go where you wanna go,
Yeah.
you know.
most of the intersections along there on the new part, they do have 2 lanes. I just precinct the other day, there's 2 lanes that turn both ways. And then, no, it's just southbound right now because of the restriction on the north side. We visit with them on that.
You got two through and 1 turn now, they're showing 3 through and 1 turn.
Okay.
When you get to the southern end of the airport, all those overheads are not going to be touched. Is that right? Now, when you turn to go to Arlington, the big overhead, will that be touched at all under the construction of any of those or anything?
No, but they're doing their best to not mess with the 360, 183 interchange. It pretty much stays just like it
Okay.
is. In the initial phase. Long term, they are.
Long term, they are.
Yeah, but not initial. Because I mean, that is very, very expensive
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
They got so much money, so.
Okay, we'll have a little bit more to this to discuss in our closed session here in a little bit. But any questions on what we talked about this morning? And I'd really appreciate people's thoughts.